Lovely. Hi, Thomas. Good to see you again.
Hi, Jessica. Good to see you as well.
Good to see you. Right. Any injury updates for us so far, please?
Yes, I will come with that. But could I please start with one other thing I'd like to speak about before all your fantastic questions? I think we need to praise, acknowledge, applaud two of the giants in English footballs. David Moyes, he's going to be in charge of his 1000th game on, I think, Saturday. Tonight? Is it tonight? Yeah. Oh my God, tonight. Yeah, I was badly updated there. I was thinking about Saturday, but yes, I have Europa League tonight. I think it's an unbelievable achievement. Just when you've been in charge of 1,000 game, I don't think we'll see that too often in the future. And I think it tells a lot about his qualities, stamina, love and passion for this game. And I think I'm so glad that I praised him before we played them, because after that they actually took off and they are now doing even better. And I think that's more than well done. The other one is Neil Warnock, who managed or been in charge of the most games in English football, and that means probably world football. More than 1,600 games. That is insane. That's where we talk about energy and passion and love for the game. So I think it's very, very important that we remember a person and coaches like that.
Lovely. Lovely tribute to those two managers. I wonder then, Thomas, is that something that you would like to emulate, that longevity at the top level of the game?
I admire them massively that they have achieved it. I'm looking at that number and thinking, I can't swear, but I'm thinking something, that's going to take a long and hard effort from me. I will never say never. I would never say never because I love this game. I just think that's also as tough to continue. Probably need to continue 15 years, something like that, as a head coach or manager. That's many years because it's a tough job. So let's see.
Okay. So injury updates. What can you tell us, please?
Injury updates. Yes. So as you probably know, the Norwegian manager Ståle Solbakken said that Christopher Ajer is out for a period of time, and that's correct. He got a hamstring injury that's keeping him out. I don't know exactly how long, but a fair amount of weeks. So we are probably more likely speaking end of December, maybe start of January, depending on how well it's going. So in these cases, I like to be surprised. So I say, let's say until January, and then hope for a miracle. Okay. That is Christopher. Witt is still out. Shandon still out. I think I forgot anyone. I think no, anyone I forgot.
Okay. Thank you for that, Thomas. Now, talking about Brentford's form, before the international break, it was going very well, and you beat Wolves and played so well against Liverpool to get that draw. Then went on to beat West Ham, and then after the break, it's those 3 straight defeats. Are you able to pinpoint whether something's changed in the coaching or the players or anything in the setup?
A couple of things. It's not 3 straight defeats. We won the Carabao Cup against Stoke.
Sorry, in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, yes. And definitely nothing in the coaching because that's just perfect, of course. Now, I believe in consistency and I believe in that we try to do the same no matter if we're winning or losing. I think over time that gives us the best performances and hopefully the most points. I think it's important to look into every game. I think good performance against Chelsea, good performance against Leicester, good performance against Stoke, and it was a very big, hopefully one-off first half against Burnley. That happens sometimes. Came back in second half. So for me, can we keep those 3? Let's say I know we won against Stoke, so let's take that into last 4 games. The 3 performances, very pleased with that. Are we keeping that high performance on Saturday? We'll be fine.
Is there anything that's surprised you about coming up to the Premier League this season, Thomas, in terms of demands on the players, how brutal the Premier League can be when you make the slightest of mistakes, or was that all expected when you came to this level?
I think when you've never been here, you know, it's like with everything else, like your parents are telling you or me, or we're telling our children that, you know, you can't do that, but they need to experience it on their own body. So it's a little bit the same, but of course I knew or expected that the quality will be crazy high, and the tempo intensity in the games will be high as well. But now we experience it, and we can see that there is high quality, and there is big intensity, and the speed of the game is very quick when it goes quick. So that is actually, how can you say, what I expected. I think the big thing for us is that we need to be on our absolutely A game every single time to get something out of it. Where in the championship, maybe on a 7 out of 10 performance, we could get 3 points, where it's unlikely in the Premier League.
And are your players capable of that week in, week out? From what you've seen of them, you know them the best.
So far, I'm very pleased, I must say, with the performances. That's the big thing we're looking at. So just, came from the training ground. I think we had a fantastic training in terms of very good intensity, very good focus, and good quality, and they train very hard every day. And I think that's what have brought us to this point, and hopefully the thing that can keep pushing us and developing us.
So the effort of the players hasn't changed. I remember when I spoke to you was it, I think after the Wolves game, after that impressive win, and you said you were just continuously impressed by the effort that your players put in their execution. That was towards the beginning of the season. Do you still feel that's at the same high level as it is now?
Yes, it is. I don't see any drop in that. I think especially, in the training weeks is very important to see that high consistency of effort and intensity in the trainings, and of course put it into the games. Very pleased when, you know, football is so complex. So it's the physical part of it, how much you can run, and the duels and so on. Is the tactical part of it, is the mental part of it, and you know, you don't know which one is going to be most influenced in the specific game. But one parameter where we know to be bang on is the physical part of it, because we don't have the same quality as, for example, Chelsea or Leicester. So I'm very pleased that we are very fit, and in every game we played so far against our opponents on the parameters we are measuring on, we've done better. So I think that's a thing we need to check every time to get something out of these games.
And how important now is it to get the 3 points against Norwich, a team that are struggling, and a team that you, of course, know very well from last season? That could perhaps provide a springboard for you to go on and win further games, could it not?
Yeah, hopefully. We definitely go out there to go for the 3 points. I think it's so important, again, not change anything, go out there, be brave, play forward, play positive. That's the mindset when we go into that game. Very aware that it's going to be another difficult game, and I understand that the Norwich game is in a bracket of games that is maybe not Liverpool or Chelsea or Arsenal that we faced here at home. And I know we had good performances and won one, drew one, and lost one. But I just know it's going to be another difficult game in a different way. We faced Norwich last year twice. We drew 1-1 at home, lost 1-0 away. And they were the best team in Championship last year. We became third. I know we have done better in this season, but I just look at the last 4 games, and I actually have it here on my paper because that's very important for me to stress it. Everton, Burnley, Brighton, Leeds, and then I know they played Chelsea, and that's a one-off. We don't know all. I've seen that in the last 10 years, that 5 years, that the top 4 clubs, they have some of these massive wins once in a while where everything clicked for them, and then they're unstoppable. 4 other games on numbers, when I watch the game back, totally even games. Actually, I think maybe they deserved a bit more Norwich than they got. So for me, it needs to be a game where we need to be bang on it, perform very well against the team, and it will be a completely even game.
Good luck, Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob from PLP next then, please.
Hi, Thomas. Daniel Farkas, obviously the Norwich manager, you started off by talking about managers doing great jobs, and he's done so well at Norwich in terms of they seem to master the championship and win it comfortably, but obviously finding it difficult this season again. What do you make of the job that he's done in the past and that he's doing now?
I think he's done a fantastic job, I must say. I remember clearly the season when they got promoted, where they struggled a tiny bit in the first couple of games, and then they just found that consistency and that clear style of play, and then they were just unstoppable from there. And by the way, we drew 1-1 and lost 1-0, so I never managed to win against Norwich. So I'm very aware that we have a big task ahead of us. So unbelievable. Then the year in the Premier League, didn't see all their games, so I can't go in depth about their performance. I know they got relegated, but it's very, very few teams that get relegated and then get up again by winning the championship as they did. Very, very impressive. We know you can get into these bad spells in the Premier League, and they didn't have the easiest of starting programs. I think that means something. Of course, I'm 100% sure that they hope for more points, and also they would say we actually haven't done it that bad, and we maybe deserve more points than we have right now. And another big quality I think Daniel and his coaching staff and Norwich as a club have is they're very calm. They are consistent in what they do, have a clear strategy. Their hand is not shaking. They do the same. So that's why I think they will have a very good chance of still doing well in the Premier League.
A bit of team news. Brian Mbumo, how's he been training this week, and is he okay to start, do you think, this weekend?
If everything goes well tomorrow, he should be okay to start.
Great stuff. Thomas, we're doing a sleep special on our show, and I'm fascinated by Brentford's kind of innovative approach over the last few years. And since 2016, you've been working closely with Anna West, who I had the pleasure of interviewing recently. Yeah. Can you tell us about your work with her and how it's benefited you and kind of impacted your success in recent years, please? Yeah,
I think Anna is a great addition to our staff and a big part of our success. I think, all that performance part of it in terms of the gym-based stuff, training well, all the bits around the on-pitch things. I think the recovery is a big thing between sessions, between matches. And one of the biggest parts of recovery is sleeping. That is maybe 80% of recovery, that you're sleeping well enough. And that's why I think that part, to nail that, and that is actually more difficult than you think, because there's a lot about having, again, consistency in what you're doing in your daily life to make sure you do the same day in, day out. And that's where Anna is remarkable in terms of course. She knows all the theory about it, but also make it simple, easy tools, to use every single day, and then constantly have a dialogue and discussion with the players. And I think it's been a big help.
In terms of yourself, obviously, managerial duties are stressful at the best of times. After a win or after a defeat, does that impact you quite heavily in a sleep perspective?
I would say in general, I've always been a good sleeper. Also after games, I think after games, I'm more just tired. So I just fall asleep and I sleep, I would say, well, but it's something I'm very aware of. So I'm also, because I need to perform every day in terms of putting good sessions out there, but I also need to be energetic, thinking quick, taking good decisions, be approachable to my staff and players. So I'm very aware that I need to be to bed, let's say around 11 latest, because I want at least 7.5 hours sleep, because before I go up 6:30. So and I try to get that consistency into to my work as well. I think I've been pretty disciplined in many years in that aspect, but it's always nice to get an expert to give me some advice, like Nana and like Anna also did to me.
Is it just finally is it hard sometimes when obviously for yourself maybe you're trying to switch off, maybe you've got to switch the phone off, it's difficult. Obviously some of your players will have young children, there's so many variables, aren't there? Maybe you've got a nighttime game, the floodlights have been blasting in your eyes the whole night, there's so many variables. It's not something you can always have a perfect night, is it?
No, of course I agree. Then we are coming home 2:30 in the night after Stoke, and that just changed the sleep rhythm. So there's so many variables that affect it. But even in those days, don't sleep too long, don't take too long a nap. All those bits that seems natural and simple, and of course makes sense. But if you're not aware of it, and if you're not consistent on doing it and not disciplined doing it, you will see a big effect in not recovering well enough.